Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Dr. PhoneFix is Canada's largest independent mobile device and electronics repair chain, operating a national network of 41 corporately owned retail locations across Canada. The company delivers fast, high-quality repair services for smartphones, tablets, and other personal technology devices, servicing a category experiencing strong, resilient demand as device prices rise and replacement cycles continue to extend. Recognized as one of the fastest growing companies in Canada and North America by the Globe and Mail and the Financial Times, Dr. PhoneFix has established a scalable, repeatable retail model with disciplined operations, strong unit economics, and a brand that resonates with both consumers and corporate partners. The company is listed on the TSX Venture under the symbol DPF. Today, Mr. Piyush Sawhney, founder and CEO of Dr. PhoneFix, will walk us through the business, the company's strategy to grow its footprint to over 70 retail locations in 2026, and the key drivers behind its national expansion and long-term growth outlook. At the end of the session, we'll also address questions that participants have submitted. As a reminder, the information discussed in this webinar is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any security. Over to you, Piyush.
Hi, Babak. Thank you for tuning me into your audience and giving me the opportunity to present the company I founded back in 2019, and it's been recognized now as one of the fastest growing companies in Canada. So while we go through the presentation itself, just let me know if somebody comes in and has any questions, so I'm happy to answer. So this is a disclaimer and it's had some forward-looking statement, as you know, so I'm just going to skip through that. So Babak, this is something really important. You know what? 600 Canadians break the phone every single hour, and that's a stat from 2021. This number has gone way up. In fact, in the same stat, when consumers were asked, what you will do, would you like to get your devices repaired or buy new ones, 76% Canadians opted in to get their devices repaired. Especially that's quite evident because the flagship model prices have gone over 50%. And now we see prices of these handsets anywhere between $2,000 to $3,500. And in the near future, they will be only getting more expensive and expensive. In fact, Allstate is one of an insurance provider in this space, which insures small electronics, specializing in cell phones. They've published a report in 2023 educating everybody that 78 million Americans only have broken the devices and have contributed to $149 billion repair industry. So as you can see that while the repair revenue is growing, it's in tons and tons of $1 billion, and Canada is in a multi-billion-dollar repair category itself. While the repair revenue seems to be growing, the next biggest excitement and next biggest billion-dollar juggernaut is the used phone segment. Like 12%, there's a 12% decline in the new handset sales year over year, while the used phone category is about to hit $153 billion market in less than 5 years. So it's growing at a fabulous 11.5% CAGR. And in less than 5 years, we're going to be seeing this $153 billion segment. In fact, by 2028, $500 million devices shipped across the planet would be used devices. In the same survey done in 2021, consumers were asked whether you will buy a used device or would you want to get a brand new one. 41% Canadian back then, 4 or 5 years back then opted in to get a used device. Why not? You could get a 1-year-old model for half the price. And especially when you buy that device from Dr. PhoneFix, you get a 1-year warranty as well, which, you know what, is similar to a manufacturer's warranty, which is accessible to across all 41 stores of Dr. PhoneFix across the nation. So this is an exciting category. Consumers are seeing the habit to be changed of getting used versus brand new. And it's a growing category across the planet as well. And in fact, when Mr. Steve Jobs introduced the first smartphone and changed the planet, I guess he gave pathways to two more categories onto the planet as well, which is repair and resale. And I'm proud to say Dr. Phone Fix is one of the leading um, companies in this space. Um, so who is Dr. Phone Fix? Dr. Phone Fix, we are one of the Canada's fastest growing carrier neutral device care platforms. We were founded in 2019. We've got now 41 stores across we've got 41 stores across 5 provinces, 29 cities. Why people love us? Because we provide same day repair services. Historically, these repair services, you have to ship the devices back to the manufacturers or to the insurance companies, and the turnaround time was 3 to 4 business days to get all these OEM certified repairs. We do that repairs within in-house in 60 minutes. So you walk into any Dr. Phone Fix, you drop off your phone, go grab yourself a coffee. Once you come back, your device ready for pickup. It's quite evident with all the positive reviews which we have. We got about over 30 plus thousand Google reviews. In fact, we recently been named 3 times actually the Consumer Choice People's Choice Award, and we're gonna be sharing a stage with one of our competitors in the space, which is TELUS, um, in Portugal to receive an award. So quite proud of what we've done so far, and quite an audience what we've built in servicing cell phones. One of the questions I always get asked, like, what's our revenue mixes? So as you can see, our repairs comes with 66% is our revenue contributes about 66% of repairs. This is a high gross margin category for us. The next big is certified pre-owned devices. We call them certified pre-owned devices or used devices as well, because when you buy a phone from Dr. Phone Fix, they get certified through 58-point inspections before it gets sold out to consumers. So every device is checked, goes through a 58 point of inspection, and that's how we are able to provide 1 year warranty on those devices. And the next category, which generates more revenue, which is a highly gross margin category for us, is accessories. That contributes about 16% of revenue. Well, I'm proud to say I'm a relationship builder. Since my first store launch itself, I've been going out and building relationships, and I'm very happy and successful in building relationships with the two biggest manufacturers onto the planet, Apple and Samsung. So, and we are one of the twos who have done that in the country. So, yes, so quite proud of this achievement of being one of the twos. Apart from that, we've really built relationships with two insurance providers, two one of who are actually across 30 countries and are one of the biggest, few of the biggest in Canada, likewise an Assurant. So without going too much of depth about these companies itself, I'll just give the highlights about who these insurance companies are. Likewise is the insurance administrator for one of the biggest telecom in Canada, Rogers. So any device sold by Rogers has an insurance plan on it that's being administered by Likewise. And we've signed a national repair agreement with Likewise to service those devices. Assurant is the next biggest insurance provider in Canada. We've expanded our strategic partnership with Assurant, and together, Assurant and I are working to increase the sales of certified pre-owned devices within Canada alone. As so shown in the previous slide, this is a multi-billion dollar category, and it's growing rapidly. And Canada alone has its own $1 billion worth of shares in this. So yes, absolutely. So this category, Assurant and I are working together to expand within Canada and provide consumers with more affordable devices into their reach. One of the things which I always get asked again, what's our winning formula? The top is speed and convenience. People walk into any Dr. Phone Fix location, drop off their devices, and get fixed in within 60 minutes. Why this is possible is because of our own in-house proprietary training program. You're gonna be shocked, Babik. There's no schools in Canada which provides cell phone repair courses. We have our own 21 days training program where we bring in individuals. They don't need to have an electronics background. They don't need to have a background in ITs or anything like that. We give them in-house training. We tell them how to fix a phone. In the same frame, we get them all the certifications needed to repair Apple and Samsung devices. And when I'm proud to say that in 21 days we get them certified technicians and we put them into our locations. So this is quite important, because that's what delivers our 60 minutes repair commitment. And like I said, consumers love us because of our timings. Um, why telecom love us? Because we are carrier neutral. We are not affiliated with any telecoms at this moment. And you know what? When consumer walks in, they get a carrier neutral service, and there is no involvement of any telecom in motivating the services what we do. The second important thing is our relationship with the OEMs, which actually provides us a consistent supply chain. We buy directly from the manufacturers itself, eliminating any wholesalers or middlemen involved. So buying directly from the manufacturers increases our gross margin. One of the most important things which is needed as a fundamental to build these relationships with the insurance companies and the OEMs is the data security protocols. I'm proud to say the protocols and procedures which we have prepared and created over our course of operations, they have been actually reviewed by the insurance companies. They've been reviewed by the OEMs itself, and that's how what we've come into our relationships. Data security is very important to any of these OEMs and the manufacturers and the insurance providers, and we're proud to say our procedures were well received, and that's how we build on these relationships. On an average, our current store does about 320, and we are actually in this year we are about on track to increase this average revenue per unit store. So it's shown in the previous slide, told you multiple times, we are a growth company. We have showcased and we are on track to be an revenue increase from our by 123%. In fact, we've been growing so fast that we were named the 10th fastest growing company by Globe and Mail in Canada. And recently, we've been announced the fastest growing company by Financial Times. So as you can see, our fastest growing title has been given by two leading publications across the planet. This is a quite an interesting slide. It tells you how fragmented the market is. As you can see, our competitor, our biggest competitor in Canada is a TELUS owned subsidiary called Mobile Clinic. They own 6% of the market share. We are currently at 2%. And rest of the category, rest of the market itself is all fragmented. There are individual stores, owners, or there are stores with 3 or 4 chains. There's no big chain out there. There's nothing happening. And the entire 6% or market is being controlled by a TELUS owned subsidiary. We are on track to break that record, and we are actually expanding and on track to double our store count in next 12 to 18 months. As you can see, in October 2025, we had 35 locations. On November 30th, we closed the transaction and acquired 6 stores, which increased the store count to 41. We're gonna end this year by 45 store counts, which we were actually supposed to do by Q1 of 2026. So we fast-tracked our growth by 3 months already, and now we are on track to be at 70 stores. So the market is super fragmented, and historically TELUS has done the consolidation, and now we are the second company doing this consolidation. So there's a lot of roll-up involved in the next future on this category itself within Canada. This is my favorite slide. It tells you who's dancing with whom, and as you can see, we've in number one we've danced with Gibo Device Repair. So Gibo Device Repair is the chain which we acquired in Atlantic Canada. They were Atlantic City's biggest cell phone repair chain. Acquiring them brought us 6 stores, 6 operational stores underneath our belt. Now I'll start with when the acquisition started to happen in the space. Back in 2019, Assurin, one of the insurance provider, acquired a U-Break iFix, a US-based franchisee chain. They had about 500 plus locations. So Assurant went in and acquired that chain. Assurant, one of our Dr. PhoneFix expanded strategic partners, They went in and couple in 2019, couple months after the Assurant and Ubrake iFix acquisition, they went couple months after that, they went in and acquired the next big chain called CPR. They had 700 plus franchisee stores. And then we were hit by COVID. TELUS went in and acquired an 80 plus store Canadian chain called Mobile Clinic. Acquired them in July 2020, mid of COVID, 80 stores for 165 million. TELUS then went in and acquired the Canadian arm of Ubrake iFix, 50 plus store chains, all franchises again. And then TELUS did not even stop at that. They went into United Kingdom and acquired a 30 plus store chain called iSmash. Few months after that, Assurant went in and acquired the next big chain out there called Pocket Geek Tech Repair. They only had 19 locations. So as you can see, the market on the planet itself is multi-billion dollars. And the market itself is super fragmented. This category is super fragmented, and there's no corporate chains out there across the planet. You can see that the telecoms and the insurance companies are going after smaller chains now. Um, so there is no big chain out there, but the market is on a roll-up category, and it's being led right now by the telecoms and the insurance companies. Dr. PhoneFlex came into the picture and now is doing the acquisitions and the consolidations in this market itself. While you can see Rogers and Bell have not done anything yet within the Canadian space, but I'm gonna be shocked if they allow TELUS to dominate this category. But TELUS did a fabulous job when they acquired Mobile Clinic. I'll tell you a few things what they vertically integrated when they acquired Mobile Clinic was started uh, having underneath their own repair arm. They started actually transferring consumers to get the devices fixed from their own repair chain. Secondly, they started to actually, keep the old trade-in devices. Historically, they were giving those devices back to the insurance providers or other trade-in partners now, but now they have their own repair arm, which can actually refurbish those devices and put it back into the market as resale. This certified pre-owned device sector or used phone market sector is one of the most growing categories within Canada itself, and TELUS is the first telecom to actually tap into this space by acquiring Mobile Clinic. And thirdly, TELUS, got changed where they can actually now add telecom plans along with the used phone devices itself. So one acquisition allowed them to actually dominate this category. So TELUS is trying to control the life cycle of cell phones from sale, repair, and resale again by acquiring Mobile Clinic. Um, yes, so while lots of activities happening across the planet in this space itself, even in Australia and New Zealand, but nothing similar has been done in Canada, and we only have one example, which is TELUS have a Mobile Clinic. So there's lots of opportunity to grow, and Dr. PhoneFix is on track to start getting this acquisitions and consolidate the market itself by acquiring chains and opening more locations organically as well. Um, this is a quite an important slide. It tells you that revenue growth and sustainability can go hand in hand. We are proud to say we partner with Call to Recycle, one of the nation's non-profit recyclers, and with together we've recycled over 35,000 batteries with them. In fact, because of all the efforts what we done in recycling, we were provided a sustainable business of the year, and it was hand presented to us by Google. So quite proud of this achievement too. This slide tells you about our financial performance. As you can see, we've been growing our revenue, our gross profits, and EBITDA itself, and we are again on track this year to close the year with approximately 12 million revenue. So this tells you who's leading the company, who are the leaders behind Dr. PhoneFix and their growth itself. I'll tell you a bit about myself, Babik. I'm Piyush Sani. I'm the founder and CEO of Dr. PhoneFix. This is my fourth venture. Before this, I have operated and launched three other cell phone related companies itself and exited from them. So I've got tons of experience in this space. I've been in the cell phone space since 2009, since the launch of the first iPhone. Mr. Sunil Goel is the president and one of the early investors in the company too. He's got 15 years of telecommunication experience. And Mr. Anil Verma here is a VP of store development at Dr. PhoneFix. He's got about 10 years of experience in the telecommunications space. So he had one Bell dealership. He started from one, he grew them to 10, and he ended up doing an M&A with a bigger dealer. So lots of space experience in this category. Collectively, three of us hold over 40 plus experience in the telecommunication space. We know how to build value, how to create uh, shareholder value, plus what, create market share itself. We've done that in the past. We know how to do it, and we can do it again. Jason Vanderberg is a publicly renowned CFO. Jay Berlinski is an independent board chair. He's also the VP of Epcot. Graham Barr, Frank Sir are legal counsels. Jeff Lloyd is our independent director as well, and he was the ex-VP of Stantec. And Rob Cole comes with an immense capital markets background. So as you can see, we've got a very strong leadership team, including the board, and we are on track to deliver the best value possible to our shareholders. This is a corporate information. As you can see, we've just went public. We are a very new company in this public space itself. Uh, we just went live in March. It's not even a 1 year anniversary yet of going public. We've got about 179 million shares outstanding, out of which 125 million is owned by the insiders. Also, 70% of our public float is held by the insiders, the three faces which you've seen in the previous slide, and we are tied into 3 years escrow. So as you can imagine, we are quite motivated to take this company to the next level. Our market cap as of December 15th is 32 million, and we got warrant and options outstanding. So technically, our public float is only 30 million, and rest is insiders. So in a nutshell, what the company itself is one of the fastest growing categories onto in Canada. We've got a robust revenue, repeated market, and proven economics itself. We've got exclusivity with the insurance providers and relationships, and we've got a clear path of consolidating the market and being a leader in this space within this fragmented industry in Canada. So thank you, Bhavik. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Perfect. We have received a number of questions from our participants through email. I'll go through them one by one in no particular order. Piyush, the first question asks, you've outlined a plan to double the footprint in 2026. What gives you the confidence that the unit economics today can be scaled consistently across 30 or 40 new additional stores?
So Babak, we've got a proven model basically. We've done this in the past. Historically, we opened 14 stores in a year. In fact, 5 stores on a calendar day weekend alone. November 30th, we closed the transaction, added 6 stores. Now we're on track to add another additional 4 more stores before the year end. So we've done this in the past. We've continued to deliver it again. And now, if you're gonna think about it, the demand is there for repairs. The demand is there. We've got disciplined cost structures involved. The demand is there, and now it's just a factor of increasing a store foot count to tap into that revenue itself of a fragmented market.
Very good. The next question asks, what criteria determine whether a new location is likely to meet or exceed system-wide averages within the first 12 months?
What we actually factor in is the demographic around the neighborhood where we are going into, um, traffic in direct competition, and the technician availability. We've got a process in place where we onboard staffing, training, and marketing initiatives involved, which provides a clear pathway to ramp up the revenue in the year one.
Very good. How do you balance organic growth versus acquisitions to reach the doubling target that you've discussed? Is one expected to dominate over the other?
Um, Apparently not. Both are contributing meaningfully, actually. Um, while organic growth actually provides us consist site selections or brand consistency, acquisition provides us an opportunity to tap into a market where we don't exist anyways, and 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 have a steady customer flow from day one itself. Well, eh, a priority is to grow the footprint, but in a disciplined manner.
Very good. What does the capital requirement look like to achieve the 2026 footprint expansion? And how much of that is already funded?
Um, we've got a clear calculations behind our capital per store or capital per store needed to actually open up a location itself. And the funding which we recently completed is sufficient enough for a meaningful growth in 2026.
Very good. As you scale towards national leadership, which financial metrics should investors focus on to measure execution over the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, first thing I would request everybody to actually factor in our store growth footprint, what penetration into the new market itself, and definitely growth in the system-wide revenue and same-store growth, and corporate margins improvement. The more we scale, our corporate overhead spread across multiple locations, improving our store level EBITDA.
Very good. Can you provide more detail on the same-store sales trend and whether there's seasonality or structural growth you expect in 2026?
Well, the seasonality in our revenue is quite minimal. In fact, the demand of repairs and the pre-owned sectors is growing. Um, Rapidly, and in a way that since the new device is being launched is getting more expensive, the repairs on them is getting more expensive, as well as more technology falls into a single unit, more fragile the device gets. So the overall demand is increasing. So the seasonality impact on our business is quite minimal.
Very good. You mentioned earlier that you're one of the two companies in this space in Canada that have partnership with Apple and Samsung. How easy or difficult it is to establish that partnership? Can anybody in this space, mom and pop shops, just come in and develop that type of partnership with Apple and Samsung?
It is one of the most difficult partnerships, to actually create itself. It took me 4 years just to get my foot into the door. I started knocking with Apple and Samsung when I launched my first store back in 2019. Um, since then, we've been just knocking the door, and we got a partnership play in place in 2023. There were so much of checkboxes involved, there's so much of due diligence involved uh, f- from them. Like I said, we're looking into the data security protocols, looking into what our corporate team looks like, uh, because um, getting these partnerships has so much of back and forth involved. There's lots of what commitments involved. So when they ping us something, there needs to be an instant reply back to these manufacturers itself. And an ongoing and individual mom and pop shop cannot create an infrastructure in place to actually develop on these relationships or even maintain them. In fact, you need and the capex required to make a single store Apple and Samsung compliant is quite high, right?
Understood.
So it's very difficult for anybody to actually tap into this. Very, very difficult.
Very good. What do you believe is most misunderstood by the market today about Dr. Phone Fix long-term potential?
Um, Well, most actually, what market thing is that Dr. Phone Fix is just a repair company. Well, actually, they need to understand we are not just a repair company. We are a high margin retail service provider, basically with multiple avenues of revenue. such as repairs, used phones categories, um, accessory sales, corporate partnerships, B2B relationships, insurance programs handler. So there's a long-term potential involved in, um, and right now, any people who looks from 100 feet high, they only look at just the repair side of the business, but does not factor in all these additional revenue streams, which are complementing Dr. PhoneFix growth.
That makes sense. What operational systems or playbooks allow you to integrate new stores quickly and maintain consistent service quality across the network?
So we got KPIs involved on a daily task itself. So what we do, we've got daily task of centralized trainings, procurement, and performance dashboard of individual stores and corporate as well. So every store operates from the same playbook. Um, this actually the playbook and the consistency and the operations which we have created so far provides a clear pathway for us to actually, develop um, or manage businesses across multiple provinces. And this allows us to actually factor in customer experience, turnaround time, and service quality, which is consistent across all stores across the nation.
You've obviously just recently closed an acquisition. How are you ensuring technician training keeps up as you add these new locations at a faster pace going forward?
Yes, absolutely. This comes back again to the playbook itself, what we have developed. So the acquisition which we just did, they already had procedures and systems in places. We went in with our own procedures and we expanded on what they already had. So we gave them consistency of being a national chain. We gave them all our procedures which we have developed, which have been working for us since day one, and what has actually provided them a playbook which they can rely upon, which is being which has been proven by our multiple stores performance across other provinces itself. Um, in fact, they will be into our store network and our store procedures in less than 21 days.
Very good. What internal KPIs do you monitor daily or weekly to ensure store level performance stays on track?
On weekly, we monitor repairs per revenue, inventory consumptions, margin per repair itself. On daily basis, we monitor how fast the repair was done, customer experience on daily basis, and how many repairs were done in a day. So these actually provides us immediate visibility, and you know what, we intervene whenever we need to intervene at a much faster rate.
Makes sense. Um, and during the summer, you put out two press releases. One was a new partnership with Likewise and another partnership with Assurant. Can you walk us through the importance of those partnerships with those insurance companies?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the press releases which we did was with Likewise. So we signed a national repair agreement with Likewise. What does it does is that again I've summarized in the slide before, but I'll expand on it. So Likewise is the insurance provider for the biggest telecom in Canada, Rogers. They also are the insurance administrator for Freedom Mobile. They are also um, insurance administrator for other smaller telecoms within Canada itself. Um, and we signed a national repair agreement with them. So what it does is that whatever insurance or whatever telecoms Likewise is serving, we're gonna be servicing their devices. That's a big market, which is and a big revenue stream for Dr. PhoneFix, which will is coming in. We signed that agreement in July, but it took us almost 5 6 months just to implement all the procedures and protocol in places, which goes back to the same scenarios which you asked me, that how difficult is this relationships to maintain. It's very difficult because you need to have all the protocols, procedures, capex involved to actually build these relationships and develop on them. So we signed the agreement, but it took us 5 months to execute that because of all the um, data integrations, capex integrations required.
And now that revenue has started to flow in,
Correct.
right?
So that has started to flow in now. And the second announcement which we did was with Assurant. So together, Assurant and I, we already had a partnership in place. We expanded on that partnership. It's not on that is that we now together we want to expedite the sale of some pre-owned devices in Canada. So we want to get the used devices more accessible to consumers. This what does it do? It's actually puts money back into consumers' pocket because they don't have to. They can get a year-old model for half the price from Dr. PhoneFix and still get a 1 year manufacturer's warranty, or 1 year Dr. PhoneFix warranty, which is similar to a manufacturer's warranty, basically.
Makes sense. As the store count grows, what changes, if any, are you making to your parts sourcing strategy or OEM partnerships?
Uh, well, as the store count grows, we'll be in a better position to negotiate further on our pricing itself. And you know what? Now since the store count is growing, we are expanding on our OEM relationships even beyond what we have currently, and expanding on the supplier basis and insurance partnerships as well. So both, as the stores count increases, both our margins, revenues, and profitability will increase.
Very good. The last question, what keeps you up at night?
Um, well, apart from my newborn, what keeps me awake at night uh, is staying ahead of our growth. So we've told you that we are one of the fastest growing companies in Canada. We're um, we are opening new stores. We are opening new in new provinces. We are signing up for new insurance programs. Um, we are in so most of my time actually spends in operations, making sure that we are our operations, our training, our inventory systems, our repair systems are growing as fast as we are growing. I spend most of my time to stay ahead um, of our growth, basically. Um, so we have a flawless growth. We've got a better customer service, and 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 yeah, the challenge for me is not demand or what consumers need to get the devices repaired. The challenge for me is to make the systems flawless and to
Makes sense.
support our growth.
Well, so far you guys have done a pretty good job. So well done. With that, there are no further questions. If I may, I'd like to thank everyone for your interest in Dr. Phone Fix. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us directly at info@vertusadvisor.com. Piyush, if you have any closing remarks, please feel free. But with that, I would like to thank everyone, and I'll hand it over to you for your closing remarks.
Well, again, Babik, thank you for giving me the opportunity and introducing me to your audience itself. One thing I want to say is again, you know what, Dr. PhoneFix is not just a repair company. Dr. PhoneFix is the next biggest uh, grow company, which is in one of the fastest growing categories onto the planet, and one of the consolidators of a multi-fragmented industry in Canada. So. Um, we are on track to consolidate a multi-billion-dollar category and increase our store foot count, increase awareness how the devices needs to be repaired, and increase awareness about sustainability as well by making sure customers and consumers understand repair versus brand new, and why used phones versus brand new itself. So yes, so yeah, don't assume Dr. PhoneFix is a repair company. We are one of the fastest growing retail chains for one of the most demanded consumer items ever created, which is cell phone.
Very good. Thanks, Piyush.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. This concludes today's webinar. You may disconnect now. Thank you.